Okay, let's see how to solve the questions of the masterclass. So, the first section is the icebreaker puzzle. So, in every session of the RISE program, we start with an icebreaker puzzle. These are puzzles that are designed to make you think, right? So, in the first line, we have two yellow flower pots plus a purple flower pot adds up to 51. And the second line says one yellow flower pot is same as one purple flower pot. So this itself should make it very easy to find the value of the yellow flower pot or the purple flower pot, right? So what do? We just replace. Just bring up my pen. Okay. So we can, since the yellow is same as the purple, we can remove this purple and we can put the yellow. So yellow plus yellow is equal to 51, right? So three yellow flower pots will add up to 51. What is the value of one yellow flower pot? It will be 51 divided by 3, which is 17, right? So the value of yellow flower pot is 17. Yellow is same as purple, so purple flower pot is also 17. Now coming to the third line, it says the value of a purple flower pot multiplied by the red flower pot is 0, right? So if this is 17, if you multiply this by this, you get 0. The only possible value for the red flower pot is that it is 0, right? So yellow is 17, purple is 17, and red is 0. So yellow plus purple plus red is 17 plus 17 plus 0. That is 34, right? So that's how we solve this question. The correct answer for this is 34. Okay, let's go on to the next section, which is the lessons. So, in this, we have two different topics, and basically, we'll be doing some fun activities. So, first one is simplification using DMAS. DMAS is what? Division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, right? It's order of operations. So, let's click on play and bring up this activity. So we need to drag the numbers and symbols to generate the number 6, and we can use these four operations. So what can we do to get the number 6? So what we can do is we can do 9 divided by, so just drag it and place it here. 9 divided by 3 is what? It's 3. And then we need to get 6. So you add plus 3 to that to get 6. Okay, so that's how we can
Excellent job.
find this statement. Let's try one more example. We need to get 16, 4, 5, and 4. So we need to use these to get 16, and then we can use these operations. So what can we do? 4 times 5 is 20, and then I subtract 4 from this. So drag it and place it, and that's how I can get 16.
Wow, good job. Proceed.
So you can try a lot more examples. You need to answer at least 10 questions to say that you've mastered this activity. And then once you finish that, you will have an option to do this in a timed mode. And timed mode is a lot of fun. Try to do it. You can try to score as many points within a 2-minute timer. And at the end of that 2 minutes, you'll see a leaderboard for this activity and so on. So if you get enough points, your name might show up on the leaderboard. The next activity is find the starting and ending time. So again, we do a lot of these kind of activities, which are fun way of practicing mathematics. So what would be the time in 10 hours and 15 minutes? What is the time right now? It's 5:45. So first let's add 15 minutes. If I add 15 minutes, I'll get 6 o'clock, right? And then I need to go 10 hours from there. From 6 o'clock, if I add 6 hours, I'll get to 12. And since I need 10 hours, I need to add 4 more hours. So I'll end up at 4 o'clock, right? So the correct answer has to be 4,
You make it look easy.
right? And that's how we can add 10 hours and 15 minutes to this. Let's try one more example. Again, what would be the time in 10 hours and 15 minutes? What's the time right now? It's 9:45. It's not 10 o'clock yet. But if I add this 15 minutes first, I'll get to 10 o'clock. And then I need to add 10 hours. I can add 2 hours to get to 12 o'clock. And then I add 6 hours to get to 6 o'clock. So 2 hours is gone, 6 hours is gone, which means 8 hours I've added. I need to add 2 more hours. So from 6 o'clock, if I add 2 hours, I'll get to 8 o'clock. So the correct answer has to be 8 o'clock. Right?
Couldn't have done it better
So
myself.
that's how we do this activity. Let's look at the next activity. Right? Which train would you take? So again, you need to reach the airport between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. It takes 3 hours to reach the airport. You need to reach between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. And it takes 3 hours means what time do you need to start? If you subtract 3 hours from 7 p.m., you'll get 4 p.m. If you subtract 3 hours from 8 p.m., you get 5 p.m. So you need to start between 4 and 5 p.m. Right? So which one is that? I can take the Ganges Express. That's the only one which leaves between 4 and 5. So if I click on that, that is correct. I can reach the airport on time so that I can catch the plane. Let's try one more question. You need to reach the airport between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. It takes 1 hour to reach the airport. So which means I need to start between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Which one is between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m.? It's again the first one, Ganges Express.
Wow, good job.
So these are all fun ways of practicing mathematics. So you can go ahead and try all these different activities. We'll move on to the next section, which is the mathematical reasoning part. I'm a two-digit even number. I'm a common multiple of 6 and 8. The sum of my digits is 9. Who am I? I'm a common multiple of 6 and 8. What's a common multiple of 6 and 8? 6 and 8. If I take 12, that's not a common multiple. 18, 24 is a common multiple. 6 times 4 is 24, 8 times 3 is 24. So 24 is a first common multiple between 6 and 8. Right? We also call this as a least common multiple. Right? Now, it's a two-digit even number. The sum of my digits is 9. What's the sum of digits in 24? 4 plus 2 is 6. So the number cannot be 24. Right? So the first common multiple is 24. What are the other common multiples? How can we find that? All we have to do is 24 times 2, which is 48. That's the next common multiple. Then you have 24 times 3, which is 72, the next common multiple. Then 24 times 4 is 96. So once you find the smallest common multiple, you can just keep multiplying that. You can find multiples of that, and those numbers will all be common multiples, right? Sum of the digits here is 6, so this cannot be the one. 8 plus 4 is 12, so this cannot be the one. 7 plus 2 is 9, so this is the number. Sum of my digits is 9. So the number that we are talking about is 72, right? 9 plus 6 is 15, so that also cannot be right. So I'm a two-digit even number. I'm a common multiple of 6 and 8, and the sum of my digits is 9. The number has to be 72. Next question. What is the smallest five-digit number divisible by 6? So smallest five-digit number is what? Smallest five-digit number is 10,000. Right? Now, is this divisible by 6? Let's divide it by 6 and see. 6 times 1 is 6. Then you have 40. 6 times 6 is 36. Again 40. Again 6. Again 36. Again 46. And you'll get 36 with the remainder 4. Right? So if I divide 10,000 by 6, I get a remainder of 4. Right? I want it to be divisible by 6. What do I need to do? I need to make sure that the remainder becomes 6, right? Then actually I can just increase the quotient by 1. So what do I need to do to make the remainder 6? I need to just add 2 to that number. So if you just add 2 to it, then the remainder would be 6, and 6 times 6 will be 1, and I can increase it, make it 1667, right? So the smallest five-digit number which is divisible by 6 is 10,000 plus 2, which is 10,002. Okay, so all I did was find the smallest five-digit number, I divided it by 6, and then whatever is the remainder, You need to find out how much do you need to add to make that a multiple of 6. Next question. Harry and Sally divided some bean bags such that Harry had 3 by 7 of the total bean bags. 3 by 7 means what? So if you take a block, so in all these questions, we love to model using blocks, right? So I have the total bean bags and I divide it into 7 equal parts: 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Harry had 3 by 7, so which means 3 parts, right? This is Harry. He had 3 out of 7, right? So this portion is Harry's. And Sally got the rest. So Sally got 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If Harry had 24 bean bags, so this means these 3 blocks together have a value of 24. So 3 equal blocks, 24 means what is the value of each block? Each block has to be 8, right? So this has to be 8, this has to be 8, and this has to be 8. Because fractions, everything have to be divided equally. So 3 parts is equal to 24. So each part has to be 8. So which means that these must also be 8, right? How many did Sally get? Sally got 8 times 4. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. 8 times 4 is 32. So Sally got 32 bean bags. Okay, next question. Jim had 360 stamps. He sold one fourth of it on Monday and one third of the remaining stamps on Tuesday. How many stamps are left now? Now, these kind of questions, especially fractions, you can do it beautifully by modeling it using blocks. And block modeling can make it very, very easy for you to visualize, right? So, how do we do it? So, Jim had 360 stamps. So, let's say that the whole block is 360 stamps, right? Now, he sold one fourth of it on Monday. One fourth means what? You need to divide this whole into 4 equal parts, right? And this is what we call as one fourth, one part out of 4 parts. So this was on Monday, right? And what was remaining? One third of the remaining stamps. What is remaining? Remaining is these 3 parts, right? So remaining is this much, and he sold one third of the remaining stamps. So if I take this part and divide it into 3 equal parts, now you can see that it's already divided into 3 equal parts. So one third of it is just this part, right? So this is what he sold on Tuesday, right? How many stamps are left now? Whatever is there in 2 blocks, this is what is left. Now, what is the value of each block? I have 360 stamps in total, and it's all divided into 4 equal parts. So 360 divided by 4 will give me 90. 4 times 9 is 36, right? So each block has to be 90. He sold 90 stamps on Monday, 90 stamps on Tuesday, and he's got 90 plus 90 remaining, which is 180 stamps. Okay, so the number of stamps that are left now is 180. Okay, next question. Four small squares of side 5 centimeters are cut from each of the 4 corners of a big square with a side of 20 centimeters. So let's draw one big square. Let's say that that's a square. Okay, and it's got a side of 20 centimeters, right? This total distance is 20 centimeters, and we are going to cut small squares of side 5 centimeters. So let's try cutting it out. So this is gone, this distance is 5, and here also we have taken out a small square side 5. Here also a small square is taken out side 5, and lastly we have a square of side 5 taken out here also. What is the perimeter of the remaining figure? How does the remaining figure look like? If I take away this thing, it's going to be like this, right? It's only this much is remaining with me. It's like a plus. So it's only this portion that is remaining with me. I need to find the perimeter. What is the perimeter of a shape? Perimeter is the length of all the outside things. So if I start from this point, I keep walking. How much distance do I cover? That is called perimeter of the shape, right? How much distance is this? This whole thing is 20. This is 5. This is 5. So this must be 10, right? Because this total distance is 20, this is 5, this is 5. If I subtract this, I'll get 10. So this distance is 10. This distance is what? It's same as this, it's a square. This is 5, this is also 5, and similarly this is 10, this is 5, this is 5, this is 10, 5, 5, 10, 5, 5. So if we add all these distances, what do we get? Let's say we start from here. 10 plus 5 plus 5, that's 20. Then you have 10 plus 5 plus 5, 20. 10 plus 5 plus 5, 20. 10 plus 5 plus 5, 20. So it's basically 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20, which is 80 centimeters. So the perimeter of the shape is 80 centimeters, right? But do you notice something very interesting about this question? If you take the length of the original square, the full square, the perimeter of that is also 80 centimeters. This is 20 centimeters. If I don't cut off these portions, right, then the perimeter of the total square is also 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. And even after removing these portions, I still have the same perimeter. Why is that? Because perimeter is only the distance covered around the boundary of the shape. If I start from here, I go like this. The original square, I would have walked like this. Here, I'm just walking along this side. And similarly, here I'm walking like this. In the original square, I would have covered the same distance here, right? So that's why you are seeing the same perimeter. So the correct answer to this question is 80 centimeters. Next question. Janki is preparing for a banquet. She puts tables together in a line as shown in the pictures below. The number of people that can be seated around in each case are shown in dots. So if I have one table, I have 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 people sitting around. Then if I have two tables, it's 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2, 10 people sitting around. Then the next one is I have 14 people. So 6, 10, 14. Next would be 18. Then it will be 22 and so on. Right. So we need to find if I have 10 tables in a row. So if I have only one table, it's 6. Two tables, it's 10. Three tables, it's 14. If I have 10 tables in a row, then how many will I have? So there are two ways you can do this question. Obviously, you can take 6, 10, 14, 18, 22, and so on. You keep writing and find the 10th number in the series, right? There is another very interesting way of doing this by observing pattern, right? So how do we do that? Around one table, I have four people sitting around and then two at the ends. If I have two tables, I have four people sitting around each table and then two at the ends. If I have three tables, again I have four, 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 and then two at the ends. If I have 10 tables, then I'll have 4 plus 4 plus 4 up to 10 times, right? And then I'll have two people sitting around. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 up to 10 times is what? 4 times 10, which is 40. So you'll have 40 people sitting around the tables and then two at the end. So that is 42, right? So that's another way we can do these kind of questions. So the key is observing patterns. Okay, so that's how we do the mathematical reasoning questions of this session. Let's go to the last section, which is the logical reasoning. Again, logical reasoning is a lot of fun, right? You just need to use your logic to find answers to these questions. It's not so much of math in this, but if you just apply logic, you can find the answers. Okay, so here, part of the table below was accidentally torn off. The table shows the number of students who scored marks within a certain range. If we know that 35 students scored above 65, so we have 91 to 100 people who scored more than 90, I have 8 people. More than 74, this is 75 to 80, right? More than 74, I have 6 people. More than 64 or more than 65, right? 65 to 74, I have 35 students, right? So more than 65 means what? It could also be this, it could form this also and this, right? More than 65, I could have scored 98 also, which means my thing will show up here, right? So 65 and above means I need to add these three together. I have two of them shown here, 8 plus 6 plus whatever the number was there here. If I add all these three, I will get 35 students. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus whatever number got torn must be 35. So what will this number be? It will be 35 minus 14, which is 21. Right? So that's how we do this question. Next question. The graph shows the volume of water in a tank from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The tank was completely filled with water at 12 p.m. The water was then allowed to flow out of the tank. At what time was the tank exactly filled? So, what was the level of water at 12 p.m.? Let's go to 12 p.m. 12 p.m. If I go, it's 120 liters, right? And the question is, at what time was the tank exactly half filled? What is half of 120 liters? It's 60 liters. 60 liters is here, right? So at what time was it at 60? It was here, right? What time was it then? It was 2 p.m., right? So the correct answer to this question is 2 p.m. Next question. What comes in place of the question mark in the last triangle? So J, M, P. So we need to just observe patterns between these letters. Can you think of a pattern? So if you look at the alphabets, after J, how many letters are there between J and M? I, J, then you have K, L, right? I, J, after I, there is J, K, L, M, and then after M, you have N, O, P, and then so if you are basically leaving two letters, you are getting the next letter. Let's come to this one: P, Q, R, S, T, then T, U, V, W, X. So you are leaving three letters here. So here we left two letters to get the next letter. Here we are leaving three letters to get the next letter. So in this we must be leaving four letters. So two, three, and then four. So let's leave four letters. After C, D, E, F, G, and then this must be H. After H, I, J, K, L, and then M. Right? So we are leaving four letters here. So the missing thing that comes in the place of question mark must be H. So all we did was find patterns. Okay. Next question. What number will complete the wheel? So again, it's an exercise on finding patterns. 4, 9, 19, 39, 79. So there are many different patterns you can find. So you need to eliminate each and every one of these. Sometimes there may be patterns between opposite numbers. Sometimes there may be patterns in this direction. Let's take this direction, right? So 4 to 9. How much do you need to add to from 4 to get to 9? I need to add 5. Then 9 to 19, I need to add 10. 19 to 29, I need to add 20. Then 39 to 79, I need to add 40. So do you see the pattern? 5 times 2, 10 times 2, 20 times 2. So next one should be 80. So 79 plus 80 will give me 159. So the next number that needs to come there has to be 159. Right? Okay, last question of this session. The numbers inside the squares are the products of the numbers on the left of each row and top of each column. Based on this, what will be the value of the pink cat? So pink cats are here. Multiplying a pink cat by pink cat gives us this gray thing, right? Gray cat. But we do not know the value of the gray cat. Is there a way we can find out? Let's look at the different cells. Okay. So between these two, We cannot find this. How about this one, the yellow cat? Yellow cat multiplied by the yellow cat gives me 9. So what number multiplied by itself gives you 9? It has to be 3. 3 times 3 has to be 9, right? So yellow cat has to have a value of 3. Similarly, when we come to this cell, right? It's a product of a gray and a gray. Which number when multiplied by itself will give you 16? This has to be 4, right? 4 times 4 is 16, which means this has to be 4, right? So which number when multiplied by itself will give you 4? So this has to be 2. That's all, right? So in all these questions, we just need to observe patterns, right? So what is the correct answer for this? The value of the pink cat has to be 2. Okay, so that's the last question of logical reasoning section. So with that, we complete the questions of this session. I hope you all enjoyed this session. If you understood how to do the mathematical reasoning questions, please attempt the questions given in the homework. In a typical RISE session, we also have another section called the rapid fire section. Rapid fire section, typically we have 5 questions and you need to answer them in limited time, right? Maybe you will be given 4 minutes or 5 minutes and you need to answer questions very fast, right? So every session of RISE program, we start with an icebreaker puzzle, then we typically do the rapid fire section, then we will do some activities from the lessons, and then we do some mathematical reasoning questions and logical reasoning questions, right? So again, I hope you all enjoyed this session, and I'll see you again in another session.